And it's funny, one gets asked that question quite a bit. What is embedded finance, or what is banking as a service? And if you ask pretty much anyone in the industry, we'll all come up with a different answer. And that's probably one of the confusing factors. When people talk about banking as a service nowadays, a lot of times they mean embedded finance, or embedded banking, or embedded payments. But if you look back historically, there's always been banking as a service, i.e., where maybe a larger bank is offering out their services to smaller financial institutions. Maybe they're international institutions who are moving into a country. They don't want to create all of the infrastructure, so they piggyback on the infrastructure. So the idea of financial institutions offering banking as a service, offering services for other people to use, has always been there. Now, what's changed certainly in the last 5-10 years, but even more so recently, is technology has pushed that services out even further. And we've also seen new players come into more technology-oriented financial institutions, because at the back of it, they normally have to have a financial regulatory license to be able to offer banking as a service. But you'll see that they're much more agile. And so what you now have is those three different distinctions. Banking as a service. So if you think of the financial markets being split into distribution and manufacturing, so people either distribute services or else they build out the services for someone to distribute. Now, the bigger guys do distribution and manufacturing, but you'll find that niche players might be in the distribution. They might be handling the customer relationship, offering products, and they'll piggyback then on manufactured products, banking as a service. And what's changed now is that you have all these APIs, etc. And there are companies, not just banks, but there are dedicated companies who offer banking as a service. And around Europe, people like Solaris Bank, but Vodeno is another partner of ours. Then you've got people like for banking as a platform. And that's really where we sit as a software provider. Temenos, we offer a whole platform that supports the full spectrum of banking services. And so we have customers of ours who use our platform to then offer banking as a service. So they're actually then processing the transactions for the different companies or partners they work with. So banking as a service is where you're managing the actual transactions, you're owning that business, but you're offering out, and other people may white label it or use it. Then banking as a platform is more where you're running the software, and that's what we do. Temenos, we've got 3,000 customers in 150 countries, but more and more we're seeing customers taking our platform as a service, so the Temenos SaaS model. So people are using the software rather than implementing it on premise and running the systems themselves. We'll do that for them, but they still own the banking license and put it out. So that's banking as a platform. And then finally, embedded finance is where you're projecting that functionality out much closer to the consumer, embedding it within various products, normally within mobile or within e-commerce, where different industries like car manufacturers, retailers, insurance, things like that, you have the actual financial products are right there. And we work with people like, I'll give you an example of PayPal, which is one of our biggest partners. They launched their buy now, pay later. So that's an embedded finance product right at the front end of dealing with the customer. Their buy now, pay later, within 2 years, they introduced it. They've already done 48 to 50 million microloans. So that's how quickly they can roll these things out on a platform like ours. But that's embedded finance. That's giving out microloans. And that, people would not see PayPal as a bank, but they have a banking license and are able to do that. And that's where we see the non-traditional players coming in and taking part. So they are all linked together. Banking as a service, banking as a platform, and embedded finance, but they are various aspects of depending where you sit in the market and what you're doing.